The Indianapolis 500 is historically one of the toughest races to qualify for. But no matter where a driver finishes, if they can qualify and be one of the fastest 33 for that year's race, they are more often than not remembered. There is, however, a moment in time where one driver failed to qualify and became more famous for it. The 1969 Indianapolis 500 is most famous for being Mario Andretti's only win. But one side story that has been forgotten is that of the hard luck story of Jigger Sirois. Leon Jigger Sirois was born on April 16, 1935 in Shelby, Indiana. His father, Earl "Frenchie" Sirois, was a mechanic at the Indy 500 who worked on cars that were raced by winning drivers such as Lee Wallard, Sam Hanks, and Jimmy Bryan. Naturally, the racing bug bit young Jigger Sirois. Encouraged by both his father and other local racers, he soon began racing at local tracks in jalopy cars, eventually moving up to midget cars where he won the 1961 UARA Championship, among other accomplishments. After years as a journeyman racer, he would finally get a chance to go after his dream, to race in the Indianapolis 500.
Indy 1969, America's greatest race.
In 1969, Sirois would get a chance to qualify for the Indianapolis 500, driving the number 14 Quaker State Special for owner Myron Caves. Sirois drew the first spot in the qualifying order when the day began on May 17th. Rain plagued much of the day, delaying qualifying until late into the afternoon. Finally, around 4 p.m., Sirois was able to roll off to begin his attempt. His first 3 laps clocked in at speeds of 161.783, 162.279, and 160.542 miles per hour. Coming across the finisher's run, Sirois remembers, "I envisioned seeing the starter raise the checker flag and that I was going to be qualified for the race. Then I saw it out of the corner of my eye." However, he wasn't seeing the checkered flag to signify the end of his qualifying run, but the yellow flag, waving it off. Car owner Myron Caves was hoping for an average speed of 163 miles per hour in the run to safely get Sirois into the show, but his average speed of 161.486 miles per hour was not fast enough, resulting in Caves making the decision to waive the run. While the next qualifier, Arnie Knepper, was getting ready to make his qualifying attempt, the rain began to fall again, washing out the rest of the day as well as the rest of the weekend.
For the first time in history, the entire first weekend was rained out. The pole position would still be up for grabs the following weekend.
It soon became apparent that had Sirois completed his qualifying run, he would have won the pole, as the rules at the time stated, at the end of the first time trial day, all successful candidates are assigned starting positions according to their respective speeds, the fastest car getting the number 1 starting position. Qualifiers on each subsequent day are lined up according to their speeds behind the qualifiers of the previous day.
The stage today is different than the stage a week ago today. First of all, the sun is shining. But the drivers and owners are under the gun. For if they don't qualify by 6 o'clock tomorrow, they may not get in the Indianapolis 500.
Even though his average speed was slow, the only way Sirois would have been bumped would have been if 33 drivers had qualified faster than him. However, only 30 cars were able to do so, meaning Sirois would have been on the pole, starting next to A.J. Foyt, who qualified faster than him at a speed of 170.568 miles per hour. Sirois' second and third attempt the next weekend were not fast enough, and he failed to qualify for the field.
Jigger, did you know that if you'd taken it a week ago, you'd be on the pole right now and 4th on the bump list? Would we right now? Would.
Sirois' tough luck caught the attention of members of the American Auto Racing Writers and Broadcasters Association. Seeing what happened to Sirois inspired them to begin presenting an award to the hard luck driver during each year's Indy 500. Naturally, Jigger Sirois was the first recipient of the award, which now carries his name. Other winners of the award include legends such as Roger Penske in 1991 for waving off Emerson Fittipaldi's second fastest qualifying time, Tony Stewart and A.J. Foyt in 2004 for being troublemakers at the Speedway, and even the association themselves in 1975 for losing the award. Inspired by the near debacle, USAC made changes to the qualifying rules afterwards, primarily to ensure every car in the qualifying lineup had one chance to run for the pole, regardless of what day of qualifying it occurred on. Sirois would continue attempting to qualify for the Indy 500 each year through 1975, failing to qualify before retiring for good in 1977. When asked about it years later, Sirois never blamed car owner Myron Caves for what had happened. The owner had $50,000 tied up in that car. All I had tied up was $10 for a pair of driving shoes. Now how can I argue with his decision? I wasn't going fast enough. I feel fortunate that I had that opportunity to pull out on the track to qualify for the 500. That was exciting. Memories like that are priceless. While Jigger Sirois is most famous for never making the Indianapolis 500, his positive attitude about the situation has endeared him to fans all these years later. And for one moment, in May of 1969, Jigger Sirois was the most famous racer on the planet.